Hello, I'm Angi Cooney, host of the podcast Now What, when we look at the intricacies and ins and outs of people's now what moments. Today I'm joined by Aaron Ellis, who I've known for many, many years in many different guises, to be honest. And what we'd like to do is explore Aaron Ellis's now what moments. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by somebody that I've known for quite a number of years in different capacities. His name is Aaron Ellis. He has a story to tell and I hope will resonate with a few people. So, welcome, Aaron.
Hello, Ange. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
It is exciting. It's very different, isn't it? So I obviously know you from being a supplier to the estate agency business.
Yep.
But what I'd like you to do is take me back to be at the present day. So Aaron Ellis, this is your life. Joined today by Pongo the dog.
Sorry, there
There
she
you
is.
go. So, yeah, Aaron, so tell me about you, where you came from.
How I've kind of ended up here, I suppose. Do you want a little synopsis?
Yes, please, that'd be marvellous.
Snapshot. So I started in agency many moons ago, back in the late 90s. And I bounced around between corporates and independents. I then found love, made babies and found PropTech.
Whoa. Pause.
Go on.
So an agent and quite a successful one from what I've read.
Yes.
So what made you go from an estate agent, because you can still have babies,
Well, yeah.
and actually be an estate agent. So then you went into PropTech, which is like a bit of a weird scenario.
It was a random
Why?
shift. So I had the opportunity to... randomly, I bought some ice cream vans with my parents and I thought it was a good idea. After about 8 weeks, I was bored of that and needed something that would capture my attention. So I set up Ellis Property Solutions, which was a consultancy business to help estate agents and do...
How old were you?
22.
So were you an agent and then went into the ice cream business?
Yeah.
I've got to ask, random ice cream business, why?
It was a good buy.
Okay.
So we kind of went for it. It was random. And I'd done, must have been a bit later than that. It was about, so I'd have been 23, I reckon. Yeah, about 23. And it was 23, 24. It was just, I'd had difficult clients. And at the time, the opportunity came up and I was like, yeah, it's time for a change. I've done this for a long time. Time for a change. And
at 22?
I'd have been 24.
So, go back. Agent, how old?
17.
Okay. So good 5-7 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Ice cream.
Ice cream, about 6 months.
Why from agent to ice cream?
I thought I could make some money in it, to be honest, and it was a good opportunity. I was like, yeah, we can do that. We ended up having a pitch and we did the world crabbing competitions and stuff. It's in Walberswick, it's up in Suffolk. It sounds exciting, but it's... so we did that and my parents kept with the ice cream. I got bored, to be brutally honest. You sit in an ice cream van on a Sunday morning and you serve 3 ice creams. It's challenging.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tough.
Yeah, and I was like, I must be able to do something else.
So why didn't you go back to agency?
I was kind of done with it for the time.
Okay, cool.
I'd kind of reached my limit and I was like, I just wanted, there must be something else I can do where I'm going to get my worth, shall we say, where I can earn the money I need to earn, because agency is not...
So it was more about money rather than passion?
Probably money was an element, but actually proving to myself I could do something other than be a senior neg or a manager was something. And I thought, I want my own business. So ultimately there was a drive to have my own business. And through that process of consulting, I worked with a couple of lovely agents up in Suffolk. One, Barn Masters, he was more Norfolk than Suffolk, but nothing really, he ran out of steam about, God, 10 years ago now.
I'm interested to know about a consultant to do what, because that is words bandied around so many times.
So it was literally the guy that I started with, a chap called Ed. I don't think he'll be on here, but Ed, basically, he had this idea. He was a builder, he did barn conversions. He was really, really passionate about barns and building. Didn't know his arse from his elbow when it came to the agency world. And he needed some guidance, and guidance setting up the business as much as anything. So getting a decent administrator in, having someone that could go out and value the properties, put the brochures together. And a lot of it was just the fundamentals of putting structure in place. And through that, that's when I met Ollie Gleve at Jupix. And I said, and I can still vividly remember it, he'd turned up in his little Clio, driven all the way over from Northampton to Norfolk, and we'd gone through it. And as we walked back to the car, I said, I've got another couple of clients I'd like to introduce you to.
Is that whilst he was Loop?
No, so he was Jupix. So he was Jupix. Jupix consisted of him, Tom, and 2 administrators at that time. So
what made you go to him?
He came, so we were working with a chap called Roger from Mustard Creative, was the branding guy behind Barnmasters, and he was full of passion and excitement, and he'd found Ollie randomly.
Yeah.
And I met Ollie in this meeting, and I was kind of giving he pitched it, and I was like, that's actually really good, we could work with that. And I liked what was on offer. So fast forward a little bit, and I sold Jupix to a couple of other people that I was working with at the time. Fast forward a bit further, and Ollie went, we'd like you to do some trainings and some work with us. Fast forward a bit more, and it just took over my life. So
because that's actually how you and I met. You were Jupix, and obviously I was a massive Jupix fan.
You were a massive
Jupix fan. So you were working at Jupix, and life was good.
Yep.
Presumably children, wife.
Yeah, children, wife, all of that kind of carried on, and we went through. So Jupix kind of went like that, in so much as when I started, there were 5 of us, including the 2 directors.
Yeah.
At the point, it was sold, well, 5 of us and about 40 customers.
Yeah.
At the point we sold, we were nearly 800 customers and nearly 60 staff.
Yeah.
It was a much bigger entity, and it was great, really, really good. We then joined Property Software Group.
You need to go back, because I mean, that's fine, but I know there was a now what, because you and I want you to be very honest and very candid if you can be, because the podcast name is Now What, because I need to know the fundamentals. Fuck me, what now? And that could have been another one, what now or now what. So
there were a couple.
You went, no, well, you know, the decision to sell to, excuse me, to sell to Property Software Group was not a decision that you made, was it?
No, that was out of my hands,
So
and that was a
absolutely,
fuck me.
And that's where I want to go to.
Okay. So the fuck me consisted of
all the now what.
Now what? Sorry.
That's all right.
The now what consisted of now what? Literally.
Yeah.
Now what? Tom and Ollie came over. So it was a shitty afternoon. Excuse my French. It was one of those afternoons. I'd just been to a demo. The cam belt had come off on my Volkswagen Passat. And I was sat waiting for the AA man as Ollie and Tom rang me and said, need to talk to you. Can you come into the office? I was like...
And had you got any inkling?
No, we were always planning for sale. That was our drive. We were build and sell. But there were things that should have been agreed that weren't agreed. I won't go into detail, but...
It doesn't really matter now. It's all academic, isn't it?
It's happened. It's
So would you say that, I'm interjecting, so would you say for anybody that finds themselves that haven't quite got their cross the I's, cross the T's, dot the I's, would
get
you
your shit
say...
together.
Would you say just make sure that you just look at everything? Yeah, I thought you'd have said that.
I think regardless
Would you like to put that in your words so that when we do edit this, Darren can actually do that? So is there anything that you would like to say to somebody that sort of is in a position that they're promised things and it's not quite where we are? What would your suggestion be?
My best advice would be, regardless how close you are with someone and how much of a friend you feel they are, get it past a solicitor, get it legally signed up, because if it goes well, that's great. If it goes badly, it's great, but it protects both of you. You know where you stand and they know where
Good bit of advice there.
And don't be offended to. My biggest bit is actually in anything you're doing, don't be offended or don't be afraid to ask a question if you don't know. That's my massive bit of advice.
Yeah. I think you would say that to that camera because that's
that
you.
one.
Yeah, that's you.
Don't be afraid to ask questions or ask for advice if you don't know the answers to things. It's not a weakness. It's probably a strength, having the strength to ask the question.
I think it's very, and there's a true cautionary tale there for a lot of people that are, when you work with friends, that you feel that you can't say what you feel and ask that question for the want of feeling
because you don't want to feel greedy or feel stupid or, but you've just got to ask the question. Otherwise you do get your fingers burnt, and people are people. As soon as money gets involved, people become quite fickle. So it's but you work
and they
through
protect
it
their own, and that's fine. So you've taken to the now what moment.
Yep.
You're in your Passat, waiting for the AA.
Waiting for the AA, and then Ollie and Tom came over and met me in some backwater in Cambridgeshire. We went for a Chinese, and it was a nice Chinese, but they sent me down and said, "It's great news, we've done it. We've sold Jupix." I went, "Oh." I won't use the words that I actually used, but I was very shocked, shall we say, that it had all been done. And I had a definite now what moment where I threw my toys, prams, everything out the window, up the wall and everywhere else I could have done. I remember going out, we went out and got absolutely arseholed that night. So I literally blind drunk, could barely walk. But it was not me and Ollie, and my ex-wife and I went and had a very drunken evening. It was kind of got through it. But
so looking back, would you have handled that differently?
I'd have probably tried to process it differently now. Now I've got maturity on my side, because I was only, I've been 30, it's 2016, so 36 at that time. So I know I don't look very old now, but...
Of course,
I was, still am passionate, but it was a kick in the teeth. And I think I took it as that rather than, on reflection now, I look at it as a lesson learned, and also Ollie and Tom gave me a fantastic opportunity to develop as a sales director, running a business, building a business that I'd have never have had if I'd have stayed in agency. So my rage and anger on it flipped upside down. I was like, no, it was an opportunity. And
so how did you, and I can see that because obviously
you were close to me at the time.
Yes, I was close to you at the time. So taking that rage and anger, how long did that, and I want to get the nub of where you are. So there may be people listening to this that are in exactly where you were and going through exactly the same feelings. So I realised how it was, and you realised it was a business decision. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. How I look at it, it was a business decision rather than a personal attack against you.
Very much
but you
so.
took it a personal attack against you.
Exactly. And I think that was I'd say, an element of immaturity and naivety of the world, the real big world.
Yeah.
But I think, you remember Mark Goddard, don't you?
I do.
So Mark Goddard was the buying CEO, if you like, of the PSG when they bought us. And he was, I don't like blowing smoke up people's bums, but he was exceptional in the way he handled...
You.
Yeah, really exceptional.
Because I'm not being funny. You can forget every fucker else. When you're in that moment, it's you're bothered about.
And because I had to put my big boy pants on. We went into the office the next morning, announced it to everyone, and I was like, yeah, it's great, really good for everyone, it's a fantastic thing. And about lunchtime, I sulked off because I was angry and I was done. And Mark called me on the mobile that night and said, take a few days, we're going to meet, have a coffee, and we'll get you back. And I was like, no, I'm done, Mark. Have a few days, clear your head. And I had a few days, I cleared my head, I sulked about things a bit for a few days, and then we met in a hotel in Hertfordshire somewhere. Can't remember where it was, but I remember the long driveway, and I had a really nice coffee when I was there. And Mark walked down the entrance hall into this lobby, and he went, well, I didn't think it'd cost me that much money to get you to work for me. And it just kind of set the tone, broke my rage down completely. And we had a again, talk about honesty, we had a really honest chat, and he took away my pain points.
And I suppose because he wasn't your friend,
yeah, I only knew him as
very honest, couldn't you?
And I was really honest, and I shared my anger, rage, etc. And he handled it, dealt with it, and we kind of moved on. And actually, the point at which, in hindsight again, the point at which we sold Jupix, my role and life,
bless you,
changed quite a bit, because I took on a bigger team. We joined forces with a bigger team. We were selling other products. And if I'm selfish, I earned a lot more money, having bigger teams, having better products, having or more products to choose from. And it was just more diverse. What I was doing was completely different to the small business I'd been in. I'd suddenly joined a really big professional business.
Which is fine if that's the way that you thought your life was going to be.
But I hadn't planned any of it, Ange.
No, exactly.
That was the thing.
And that's
so
where
I had
I'm
to roll with
getting to,
it.
really.
Yeah.
So you've got a wife and you've got children.
Yep.
So how did all of that affect that going forward? So you were Aaron Ellis, part of this thing that
Mr.
you were
Jupix.
building up,
Yeah.
Mr. Jupix,
Yeah.
the face of it. Let's face it. So you were that person, and then you, how did that affect the other side of your life?
Randomly, it actually worked out quite well, because I went from being away 3 or 4 nights a week to being away once
7
every...
nights.
No! The time I was travelling went completely down, because I wasn't running as big a region. I wasn't doing as much. It was more managerial and team motivating and things. But we had a small patch as well that we had. And it was nice. I had Mark Freeman, you know Mark,
of course,
obviously, as my opposite number, and we were the competition for each other. And I think between us, we were an exceptional sales director.
You were, yeah. But from that, because that's a very big, it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you were little fish fighting against them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. And being that person, and we want to do this, and because then you're building it up, and it's part of you against the world, as
and
opposed
it was us against the world.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
I get that, but then I think that's the same in any business that you're doing and goes into that. So the big fish bought the little fish.
Very much so.
And it depends whether you wanted to carry on being that little fish.
And in fairness, I loved the opportunity, and I liked the chance to be a bigger cog in a bigger wheel, if you like, or a small cog in a bigger wheel. I can't describe it, but it was nice being part of a bigger team and actually being someone in a bigger team. I really liked that. And then when we were bought by
Ego, did you do it for? Did you like the Ego? Was that in there?
It's got to be, hasn't it? I was young, and
I remember.
I was a young sales director being quite keen on life. So.
I remember seeing you and thinking, "Fuck me, he's put weight on."
Yeah. So
you went
stressy.
Fat bloaty boy, didn't you? Yes. You were fat bloaty boy, and
Thanks,
all of a sudden, from being you, but you were exactly where you were when I first met you.
Yeah.
To then I looked, I thought, good God.
It was a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
A lot of meetings, and not as much of my face-to-face and people, which was something I did miss.
I know it was.
And I think when we changed, so when we were then absorbed by Zoopla, it went even more meetings and bits and pieces, but it was awesome. Again, I really enjoyed. I liked Zoopla. Were, for all their misgivings, they're a fantastic employer.
Yeah.
They were really good, and I really enjoyed my time there. Although, again, I had one of those moments, fuck it moment or whatever, where I decided I wanted to do something different.
Take me back then. So you're then working with great people.
Yep.
With PSG.
Yep.
And then where were you? What were you doing when you realised that Zoopla were coming along as the...
We had literally no idea. I had less than no idea when that happened. I was actually, so we landed, I'd just got back from Those of you that know me will know about my trip to the BVI on a massive catamaran. It was awesome, because I talk about it still now. But we'd just landed, and James Toogood rang me, or had messaged me while I was out there. I need to talk to you when you're back. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. And I called him when we landed, and he was like, we've just been bought by Zoopla. Nothing changes, it's all good. But it was literally off the back of an awesome holiday, and it was a really different experience, because I didn't know a clue what we did really, but they thought it was a good acquisition. So little did they know more.
Yeah.
So
Zoopla's now the machine that you're working for.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was. Do you know what? It was great, because they left us alone. We pretty much dealt with James Toogood. So when I say we, Mark and I, our direct was James Toogood as the software sales director, and that was it. We had very little, certainly for the first couple of years, very little to do with the portal teams, and then they started to try and merge things together, and it got a bit clunky, and you all know kind of where.
So then you've got a wife, 2 children, 3 dogs.
Yep.
Life's tootling on. I presume earning good money.
Yeah. It was actually. It's. I did take it. In fairness, I had one of those moments where I was like, I'm done with this. It's boring. I need to do something that's going to challenge me. Yeah. So I tried to do a little company that were in Bury St Edmunds, just down the road, and they needed a sales director. And it was a guy who I used to coach rugby for the kids, and he was one of the dads. And he went, oh, come and have an interview. And I had a chat, and I was like, oh, yes, it's great. We can do this. I can make a difference. They were a similar sort of size to Jupix before we exploded.
So is this a software group or a software?
No,
what is it?
It was IT support, outsourced IT support desk. It's as boring as it sounds. And I realised once I'd gone how many hours I needed to work, more than I was doing. I did like 1 million more hours there.
Yeah, but you got a fat cat salary, so why?
Oh, I hated it. I hated every second of it. So I lasted.
No, hang on, whoa, go back.
Yeah.
Zoopla.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
Yeah.
What made you go from that to that?
That's a really good question, and one my ex and I have discussed several times. I don't really know. I wasn't happy. I'd taken for granted what I had. Again, being brutally honest, I'd taken for granted what I'd had, and I just wanted a new challenge. We were doing a house renovation at the time as well, so we were living in a shed at the time, had the roof off the house.
So earning the books, really?
Yeah.
Good books?
Still earning good bucks, yeah.
Children at what, private schools?
Yeah,
or?
of course they were, yeah.
Okay,
so
children at private schools?
Yeah, doing a big renovation.
How old?
What would they have been then? 12 and 10? 10, yeah, about 12 and 10.
So you're sitting there and your life's just like ticking along and you're thinking, there's got to be more to life.
Yeah, I just wanted more stress. That's arrogance,
be more
though,
people,
I think.
yeah, but there'll be more people in your position listening to this that in whatever capacity that they work in, thinking, definitely as a man, not just as a man, that sounds a bit sexist, but thinking there's more to fucking life than this.
Yeah, and it was, I would say, I had in my head. So when I...
Okay, let's start with your head.
Start with the head. When I first started work experience and doing stuff with selling bits and pieces at 15, I was like, I'm going to be retired. I know it's stupid to think I'd be retired, but I would be on my way to retirement and working. I'd have made my big bucks. At
what age?
By 40, is what I'd set out with. It was a dream. I know it was a dream, but I'd pushed at that. When Jupix didn't happen, I'd realigned myself with that.
Yeah.
But I was 40. When was it? We were just after. Was it just after COVID or just before COVID? I want to say it was just before COVID. I decided that I would go and work for this lot, and I went off, and I did literally 12 weeks. Hated every second of it, and said. And it was like.
So did your wife work?
No, not at the time.
Interesting, and you've still got school fees.
Yeah.
So how about COVID? Is it in private schools?
No. So we were kind of, so Hannah was setting up an upholstery school, if you like. So she teaches traditional upholstery. She is an exceptional teacher, and she was just trying to build the business. So she was early days of building the business, but she supported my decision
Did she know you were doing it?
She knew I was going to do it. Yeah, we discussed everything. So
Okay.
she did know I was thinking, I'm not happy here. And she went, you're not happy. Let's see where it goes. If you think you can do it, let's go for it. And I knew really quickly that it wasn't. Literally, you know when you sit in an office and you go, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
I sat there the first day, I was like, I don't know.
God.
I went from having half a dozen products that we sold to, I think we had like 100 odd different products and different services. And we had one estate agent that we dealt with as a client. I was like, this is just so boring. And that was, half the problem was it was boring. The other half, the business was, there was a lot of hot air and not much action. So if you're someone that likes to do stuff, the hot air, nothing ever happened. And I know I was only there sort of 12, 13 weeks.
That's a massive moment.
But I went from earning there to earning down here. And I rang James Toogood and I said, James, I've made a terrible mistake. What have you got? He went, well, you can't have your old job back. I've given it to someone. I was like, okay, what have you got? And he took me on as a senior regional sales manager, just mainly because I was getting old, I think. But he took me on as a senior regional sales manager and I worked my arse off and I got the sales director role back again.
Yeah.
Over the COVID period and stuff, it was hard work, but we did it. And then Zoopla had it was a few, because we managed to finish the house, which we wouldn't have been able to on the other one. Literally, one of the days when I realised it was bad at the local company was, I lay in bed and I looked at Hannah, I said, have you got any money to pay the builders tomorrow? She went, no, have you got any? I was like, no, I'm out. And at that point, I knew we needed to do something different.
I think that unless you've been in a position that you've got no money and you have no money.
Yeah. It was
and I think that it's the lying awake at night. I remember, and I'm going to take it from you slightly, because I'm going to tell this story because I think it's quite important.
And it's your podcast.
No, it is. But I like people to tell me their story. But I think I want to try and resonate with people. It doesn't matter who you are. We've all been at this position. Yeah. I remember lying in bed. It was 2:10. My mortgage was £2,000 a month. Right.
Yeah.
I owned my estate agents. The VAT was due. I got no money. Literally no money, right? And I remember in my front room, and although I've been married for years, my husband doesn't really get involved in that side of it. I remember on my hands and knees praying in my lounge going, what the hell am I going to do? Yeah. Didn't quite say hell because I was praying to God, but, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to have to fess up and say to David. So I said, David, I've got no money. And he went, what do you mean you've got no money? And there's that pit in your stomach because you lie in bed at night thinking worrying you'll fix it, and it doesn't. No money. Yeah. I've got no money. And my little mantra is, this too will pass, because I really believe that. Yeah. And I said to him, I've got no money. And he went, well, how much is it? Oh, it's like £6,000. And he paid the £6,000. Yeah. That, to me, was my pivotal moment of,
I can't get here again, yeah.
And you've been there to pay the builders. So this too will pass. What did you do?
Grovelled to James. James gave me a job and we went back and we went for it. And in fairness, we got the money. Thankfully, Hannah's uncle was very kind and lent us a bit to finish the house so we could remortgage, because the rates had gone from, we were on a 1.2%, it suddenly shot up, and it was like,
oh God,
went from £1,000 a month to nearly 4, and it was,
I was sitting feeling your pain. I feel it in my stomach now.
It was painful, but we got through it together. We got through it, and the kids didn't really notice. They were happy, and then we moved into the house, and the house was great, and it was all good. Then Zoopla made a round of redundancies, and we all had to start again and try and find something new. And I think, I've got good advice on that one, actually.
So can I have your advice on that? So this is third time round now, isn't it?
My third moment.
Third moment of, now what?
So my best advice, don't let your arrogance get in the way. So I had the opportunity, don't let your own arrogance and self-worth get in the way of what could be quite simple. So I was made redundant from Zoopla, or I chose to go with my team as a sales director. I would kind of fall on my sword, so to speak. And they offered me a role. The day I handed my kit back, they offered me a role that was more money than I was on. I was like, no, on your way, I've done my bit. And that was a definite pivotal moment for me, because I then spent the next probably 3 years trying to find home, so to speak. Because I'm a big believer in, if I'm selling it, I need to believe in it and really...
I know you are.
...love what I'm doing. And I reap it. Not going to say any more on that one. Then I went to Homeflow. Homeflow, lovely company. And I worked and did some consultancy with them, basically. But really supportive. I had some interesting personal moments at that point. So my wife and I decided we were going to...
See, that's where I'm getting to, because I think I am a wife, okay, and I obviously support my husband, but I'm sure there's times, and I'm sure he feels the same. I bet she wanted to ram your fucking head in the window.
Yeah, I think she did, bless her. She did. She did. We were very much a team. We were always always a team. And I think something changed. And at the time I was with Homeflow.
How old were you?
2 years ago.
So what's that?
40, what would I be, 43.
Because I was thinking every 10 years you shed a skin and you redefine who you are.
So I was, 43, and it's been a challenging couple of years, I would say.
Let's not skip past that, let's go back, okay? So you sat there, you've reinvented, you've obviously gone fuck you because you're arrogant and you thought you were bigger than you were. Yep. And I think it's a great leveller.
I had so many job offers, and I chose the Reap It one. But
you did what you did, right? But was that money?
And money and opportunity, and I thought it was a safe bet. So I rather than taking the risky bet that was actually more money, quite a bit more money, I was like, no, I've got the kids, I've got Hannah, I need to be organised and safe.
And you chose the money?
No, I chose the safe. So Reap It was the safe option.
Okay.
And again, it was one of those I realised I'd made the wrong decision quite quickly. But, it is what it is. And then, that was not good, that one.
So then I'm going to take you back to, did Hannah tell you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so...
Which was...
Let's go there then.
God, it's a bold one to go to, Ange, but
That's
okay.
I don't care, it's me.
It was...
And you're only talking to me and no one else. No one else is going to listen.
No one else is going to listen, it's okay.
I can't be bothered.
It was a bolt out of the blue.
Set the scene.
When it happened?
Hey, listen, we've been in the Monday or whatever you were in with Ollie, so we're going to go down this route.
We're going down this one. So I got home and Hannah said we need to talk. I was like, okay.
Have you got money for Bay the Builder? No, I'm joking.
No, we'd done that one. We were okay. Things were still, in fairness, things had been tough, but she said, I don't think I want to be with you anymore. We're not a team anymore, which was the one that resonated, if you like. And I think we've grown differently. And
so what were you doing? Sorry, I know in my head I think I'm where you are. Yeah. You were trying to scrap around getting jobs and doing whatever.
Yeah, so I was still at Homeflow at that point.
Yeah.
And they were brilliant because I had a slight meltdown, if you like, on where I was. But I was at Homeflow, it was all good. I could have stayed there.
So, not a team. Your ghoulies have been kicked off. Yeah,
big time. But we tried counselling and we tried all of that for, I suppose that was, what was that, 23? Tail end of 23.
Kids gone through school now?
No, so my eldest is now 17, my youngest is 15. Yeah. So they were just at that point, so to speak. But we tried the counselling and then we agreed sort of October time, 23, November, that it was kind of we were going to have.
Do you think that was COVID? Did a lot of COVID deal with that? No, I've heard a lot of people split up because of that.
We had a big loss. Hannah's dad passed away, and he was a massive, I thought a huge amount of him. Hannah thought a huge amount of him, and he left a massive hole. He still does leave a big hole. I'm doing well, I'm not crying
it's all
talking
right.
about
It's okay, it's okay.
But I think it made Hannah reconsider where she was.
Absolutely.
It's a real, you lose someone close to you, and it's a real moment where you stop and you take stock of where you are, and more importantly, I think, where you want to be.
Where you want to be.
And I think we'd been good friends for years. Hannah was my best friend. And I think, it just was. We tried to fix it and we couldn't, but we are friends now, or nearly friends now. We're kind of getting to that point. We put the kids first. My best advice is don't laugh at people that go through these bits, and I know people don't, but you'll be surprised the friends that come into play that you never knew you had.
I agree.
One of my best friends is my PT, has become my best friend through this process. And a chap that used to work for me. Randomly, he drove over one day just to make sure I was okay. And people I've known for 20 odd years, nothing. People I've not known for 5 minutes have become really, really close. And I think that was interesting. But also, another bit of good advice here, don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be embarrassed if you need to talk to someone else, as in a counsellor or someone random. I've had several bits of counselling, and it's quite good. It's just a bloke that you talk to. Try hypnotherapy, that's awesome. If you're kind of that way inclined, I found that really useful. But again, it's just someone you can talk to openly and honestly without a fear of, I suppose, without the fear of the embarrassment or the judgment, because they are so far away.
And I agree, because obviously I speak to a lot of people in various guises that I do, and I think that the estate agency industry, particularly now, there's about 9 million people that will just open their arms and talk to you.
Especially women in the estate agency, they love all that, don't they?
Yeah, but it's not just about that.
No, I know, but that seems to have been those conferences.
I know that Ben Madden, he does the boys' club, which is huge. Yeah. And I think that the reason why, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to that in a minute. You have to cut that bit out now, Erin. So you and Hannah have decided to go your separate ways. You have a complete fucking breakdown.
I wouldn't go that far, Ange, but I
would.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Okay, all right. You were kind of there, so yeah.
Because I think you did.
Yeah, I think there was a definite, I didn't really know which way was up.
Absolutely rudderless.
So I tried to take another big role. So I took a big sales director role with a company.
Which one?
The Lettings Hub.
Okay.
Gary Barker's just gone there, bless him.
Yeah.
Good luck, Gary. Which is, it was a big role. It was great. Again, the team was good, but it was a big role trying to deal with my own bits, if you like. And then... Because
not only have you got that, you've got the loss of your marriage, you're grieving for that, grieving for a pivotal guy in your life.
Yep.
The anchor.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It was. And then, where did I go after that? Oh, I went to Nurture after that, didn't I?
You did.
And Nurture was like going home.
Yes.
So Nurture was, in fairness, I went from proper big job to I'm just going to be one of the team and do things. And it was like home, but I did struggle with the fact that I was nobody. Because not that I like to be somebody, and that's my arrogance coming through again, but when you have run the team and done things, going back as a foot soldier is quite hard. But I loved it. In fairness, they were, again, great team, great products, really, really supportive. But when the house finally sold, so we made a beautiful home, and we were both, Hannah and I, this is not me and Ben, Hannah and I had made a gorgeous house that was stunning. We're both really, really proud of what we achieved. And we completed on that, and we agreed what we were doing financially wise. And that was my pivotal moment of, I want to do something for me.
Yes.
With real people again. And that's how I ended up at Jenny Jones.
Because I actually think that you have, because you will fit in wherever, I think.
Yeah, I tend to.
But all of a sudden, you didn't fit in yourself.
No, exactly.
They wanted you, you didn't fit them. You didn't fit this shoe. I think that you are probably at a stage then that you were this round hole that could fit in the square box.
Yeah.
But you didn't quite fit. But that's more about you then. Yeah,
rather than the company. The company was great. It was just, I needed something that was going to challenge me and be mine, basically.
I get it. So obviously at this point then, you're at Nurture.
Yep.
Okay, and then you doing okay? Because Nurture is fantastic, let's face it.
Cracking products.
Massive fan of Nurture.
Fantastic team.
No, it is.
It is.
It is. I'm not doing a bit of a thing for them, but they are great. So you've sold your house.
Sold the house.
Got a bit of cash.
Got a bit of cash, and the opportunity. I got a random phone call from the previous owner of Jenny Jones, my little estate agency.
Based where?
In Saxmundham in Suffolk.
Saxmundham, who knew, right?
So we've taken the whole of the heritage coast and Suffolk in general. Just sold my first one in Bury St Edmunds, which is very exciting.
Fantastic.
Quite a trek. Anyway, and he called and said, do you know anyone that's looking for an agency? Because I obviously know lots of agents.
Of course.
And I went, no, but what are you thinking? And he said, well, Charles, his partner, he's not very well and he's ready to retire. And I was like, well, why don't we have a chat? I think it could be the time in my life. I've been on this break from agency for the last 15 years, 18 years, whatever it is. I think the time could be right for me to come back. I want to make something that's not dealing in boardrooms and I'm dealing with real people. I was like, I don't really care. Do you want to buy it? And I was like, yes, I do. So that would be lovely.
I don't give a shit about your personal life, chap.
Just want to know.
Have you got the cash?
Exactly. So fast forward, that was in just before Christmas, I suppose that happened. And then we completed the sale in just after Easter. Well, I started in the office just after Easter. I completed the business on the 1st of April. April Fools for some.
Yeah.
You can imagine what my pipeline was like after the stamp duty holiday, can't you?
Yeah.
In March. So that was
interesting.
That was hard work actually coming into the thing I thought I'd got versus what I'd got was quite terrifying. But fast forward now, 4 months? And it's been awesome. Love it. I've just now bought a load of new kit. So I've got a load of new
exciting
Apple stuff. It's awesome. Can you cut that and make that look more manly than that, please? That'd be great. Whoa. I've just got a load of Macs. It's really good. So we're suddenly coming through the other side. We've built the pipeline. We're selling lots. We're getting lots of instructions, and it's awesome. I'm loving dealing with real people again. Real people with real stories, and just kind of keeping it real.
So this now then, because we're obviously coming to the end of so far your journey.
My journey so far.
Because I think it's so far. So I'm not going to ask you about the future because I think
it's unwritten.
It's now though, isn't it?
Natalie Bellington.
Because I look at you and I can see the Aaron that I first met.
Yep.
Passionate, enthusiastic, a lot slimmer. You're still doing your cold showers?
No, not really. Unless I run out of oil. I'm out of oil at the moment.
You're out of oil, which in itself
Central
is
heating.
another story. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Not
sorry.
lube.
Go back. So the future's bright.
Yeah, it's yellow. That's my branding. Mustardy colour.
Good lad.
Yeah.
So, advice to anybody, because you've got quite a few in this episode of now what moments.
So
your advice, sorry, start again. So your advice to anybody that finds themselves in any of the scenarios that you've come up with in your life so far.
So I'm going to pick on your "this too shall pass."
This too shall pass.
That is really, really good advice.
Yeah.
I also wanted to, for me, it was just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Keep swimming.
Like Dory, just keep swimming. And my brother's a tattoo artist, and I asked him to do me a tattoo there, and he said I'd look a twat. So he refused to do it because he's right. I know he is, but it was a constant reminder: just keep swimming. It'll get better. You'll get through it. The next thing's coming, and life is like that. It's ups and downs, and it's the the challenges along the way that give you stories and give you, make you who you are, isn't it? God, that sounded awful, but it is the challenges along the journey that make you appreciate what you've got. And again, appreciate everything you have. Stop and smell the roses. It's really easy to, and as a arrogant, passionate, overexcitable sales director, you can just look at that and go, right, I'm going. Stop and actually appreciate where you've got to and where you've come from, but actually what you've got now. Because it's really easy to suddenly be 3 years down the line and go, shit, I haven't got that.
Yep.
And could it have been different if I'd have stopped and looked at it? So you need to appreciate what you have, would be my best
Aaron
advice.
Ellis, as I knew it would be. Thank you very much, and
Thank
here's
you.
for the next 10 years.
Totally, thank you.
There you go.